I think the Taliban have a very difficult job to try and be the government of a war-torn country like Afghanistan, and we believe in sovereign nations, don't we? When Hamas and the Palestinians defend themselves, it's a brutal massacre. When Israel murders innocent civilians, it's a tactical strike. You didn't even know who the Houthis were, but they can just make you dislike these people so they can murder them en masse. Here's a simple formula. Whoever they say is good is bad, and whoever they say is bad is good. They can get people emotionally riled up over subjects they don't even understand or know. This happened recently with the Houthis. It was funny. Before Trump started bombing the Houthis, I noticed the news was talking about the Houthis all the time. We have to get the Houthis, the Houthis, the Houthis. And everyone's walking around going, yeah, we have to get the Houthis. I'm like, you didn't even know who the Houthis were 3 days ago. You didn't even know where Yemen is. But they can just make you dislike these people so they can murder them en masse. How do they do that? Because they can emotionally affect you. I can't be emotionally affected. In the West, if they have an idea that they want to psyop the population with, they aim for children and women first. They don't aim for the men. We're hard to convince.
That's what they did with the October 7th. The first thing that came out was behead babies.
Of course, a lie.
To trigger women.
100%.
Yeah.
I got in an argument with somebody when the Taliban retook Afghanistan. And the Taliban, I was on Piers Morgan. And he sat me down and he said, what do you think about the Taliban preventing women from going to school? And I said, well, I don't live in Afghanistan. I'm not Afghanistani. I think the Taliban have a very difficult job to try and be the government of a war-torn country like Afghanistan. I'm sure that their decisions are not always perfect, but it's their government and they're a sovereign nation. And we believe in sovereign nations, don't we? So they made their own decision. And he said, well, don't you think that's disgusting? Don't you think that the girls should be allowed to go to school? We should do something about it. And I sat and said, why don't the women do something about it? Why do men have to go die? If you're not smart enough to do the research and work it all out and do the details, here's a simple formula. Whoever they say is good is bad, and whoever they say is bad is good. That's literally how
people are waking up now. I mean, especially with what has happened with Israel and Palestine, with how much the media twists the truth and how much it enraged so many people. If that is not a lesson for you to say, maybe not everything the media says is right.
And the media, another trick they do, it's not only what they say, it's how they say it. And we can talk about Israel-Gaza quickly because you mentioned it. It's a perfect example. When Hamas and the Palestinians defend themselves, it's a brutal massacre. When Israel murders innocent civilians, it's a tactical strike. Those differences in languages, brutal massacre, tactical strike. Now, we know that a tactical strike is a collapsed building on top of children. We know that there is missing limbs and dead women, children, and men. We know how brutal it is because we can now see the video. If X wasn't a free platform, we wouldn't even see the videos. So if you just read tactical strike, you imagine, they picked the one bad guy out of the group and it was tactical and they sniped him. But it's not that, is it? It's collapsing buildings on top of innocent civilians. But when Hamas defend themselves, even if they're killing other soldiers, which is the basic prerequisite of war, it's a brutal massacre. So when you're listening to what the media say, it's not only what they're saying, because sometimes they're unfortunately forced to tell some version of the truth. Then what they do is they say it in a particular way and they lie by omission. And by omitting certain parts of the story, they can tell the truth while also lying.
Correct.
This is very, very common. They do this a lot.
You were on Piers Morgan on October 9th, if I'm not mistaken. And before then, I mean, that's when you really spoke out about Israel-Palestine. And before then, you had a lot of conservatives on your side. But all of a sudden, October 9 came, you talked about Israel-Palestine, you defended Palestine, and then all of a sudden you had your issue in Florida where everybody attacked you. Everybody came after you. Tell me a little bit about the selective outrage and the double standards.
Yeah, there's a interesting conspiracy theory that there's a particular group of people who control the world and they control the media and they control the money and they control the banking. And if you speak against their interests, you pay the price. It's an interesting conspiracy
Weird, I've never heard that.
Yeah, very strange.
What? First time.
Yeah, they were actually on my side. And then, as you said, on October 9th, which was very soon after October 7th, called what Israel was doing a disgusting genocide. And I said it before anyone else did. And I said it against my legal counsel's advice. And I said it because I thought it was the right thing to say. And at that time, nobody else had really understood quickly enough that the beheaded baby story was a lie and that Israel were being disproportionate in their response. And as soon as I did that, all of these other influencers on the conservative side, plus a whole bunch of bots, all of this started to just whip up a storm trying to damage my reputation and damage my name. And primarily, they were just saying that I was, the usual things, anti-Semitic, and I was a bad person. And then they tried to attack me because of my history of owning a webcam studio, and they said that I'm bad. I obviously made it clear that OnlyFans donate millions of dollars a year to AIPAC, which AIPAC, of course, are the Israel lobby, which are heavily involved in American politics. And OnlyFans, who's owned by a Jewish man, donates millions of dollars to this day. But they don't care about that. They care about supposedly something I did 15, 16 years ago for some reason. Anyway, very strange coincidence, all of this. But the Overton window has shifted now, I believe, and I think everybody understands what's going on. And there's been some recent developments also between the relationship of America and Israel in the last 3 to 4 days, which are very interesting. So we're going to have to see how things play out. I'm in Dubai, and you could argue that Dubai has very stringent laws and could be called a police state, but Dubai offers me safety, and Dubai also offers me massive opportunity. America's a police state where I have no safety and no opportunity. So I have to be afraid of the government and the criminals, and I'm broke. So what am I there for?
Absolutely.
Well, you're there because of patriotism. America. Don't go over to the Middle East. They're all ragheads. That's bad. Bomb them. Baghdad. Shock and awe. Matrix bullshit. Weapons of mass destruction. That is all a fucking lie.
You have faith in God.
Oh, absolutely. You have to have faith in God. If you believe.
That's probably the one thing you fear.
To be honest, I said earlier about taking dirty money and how the universe is all balanced in the end. And I think that shows a healthy respect for God. And that in the end, everything works out, everything balances out. And I like to believe that every single thing that happens to us is a test from God. I think that you become closer to God during struggle. I think he's watching during struggle.
Did you get closer to God in your struggle?
Yeah, I think that it was simply a test he gave me to make sure I deserved what I had. You don't get to become a symbol of resistance and a symbol of masculinity and then never get tested and never resist. God gave me a platform and said, let's see if you deserve your platform. Or if you're going to fuck it up like Peterson did, because Peterson started taking drugs, became a drug addict as soon as his life got hard.